Okay, maybe this seems random, but whatever. We're just gonna go with it. So I hopped on TikTok because I was looking for something specific that I was gonna kind of like go down this rabbit hole and like talk to you guys about. But then I got completely sidetracked and found this other stuff. So instead, we're just gonna talk about that, which is like what is going on in the ocean, okay? Because like, excuse me, what? So basically, that's just like what we're gonna talk about. You're gonna go down the same rabbit hole that I did. I'm gonna take you along for the ride. So also, just like my knee is here because of the way I'm sitting. So I don't know, just like ignore it. Sorry if it gets like distracting or whatever. Also, this candle, it is an electric candle. It's fake. Don't worry. Like nothing is gonna fall or burn down the vehicle. It's just for the vibes. So let's dive into what's going on in the ocean. And actually, I should preface basically I don't know. What should I say? The ocean's a scary place, first of all. At least I think so. I don't have like a phobia of it necessarily, but like, bro, let's be real. The ocean is crazy. But I guess there's just like, in the past couple months, things have just gotten a little more wild, and people are just talking about it. So I figured we would also talk about it. And the reason I say preface is because, or that there needs to be some sort of preface, is because there's definitely like a handful of theories that we're going to be listening to. I'm not endorsing any like particular one. The idea is like, the facts are certain things are happening, so we're just going to look at that and we're going to hear other people's opinions as well. And then at the end, we're just going to kind of be like, okay, like these are the theories, and then I just want to hear like what y'all think. So just don't freak out, okay? Okay, so this is the first TikTok that I saw that basically started it all.
Thank you so much for bringing this up. Let's briefly talk about it real quick. So, if you know anything about sharks, you know that the behavior that we're seeing right now is really not normal for them. The amount of sightings that we've had alone in the last 2 weeks is pretty wild, and the amount of attacks that we've had is crazy. Normally that's something that's considered very rare, but the amount of activity that we've had in the last 2 weeks is definitely a cause for concern. And one thing about nature, it's all connected. When the animals act crazy, it's definitely safe to assume that there's usually a natural disaster that's coming. Okay? So with that being said, let's look at it from a behavioral standpoint. So the activity that we're seeing with sharks right now is way more frequent than normal for this time of year. Okay, so normally sharks will feed and breed at specific times of the year, and that's usually the only time that we'll see peaks in their activity. But right now it's already higher than the yearly average. Now that could be because of a lot of things, but my theory is that it's directly connected to how fast the ocean is heating up right now. And another thing that's directly connected to that is the frequency in storms, specifically hurricanes and tropical depressions. So a hurricane needs two things: hot water and cold water. And what's happening right now in the area of the ocean where the hurricanes form? It's heating up faster than it's ever heated up before, all right? And that's what's making all of the animals in the ocean act the way that they're acting.
Okay, so she kind of touched on like one idea or theory or whatever, but like I said, we're just going to kind of keep going with it. That's like where I was like, wait, what? Like she's just like talking about it, and I'm like, excuse me, so yeah, there's more shark sightings and stuff, but like, show me the footage. What are we working with? Like, what is going on? So now let's take a look at like the animals and what's happening. Okay, so this one is from 3 days ago. Let's see.
What are they in a frenzy about?
That's a lot of sharks.
I don't know.
But I mean, they like migrate up there, so.
I wouldn't want to fall in the water right now.
Definitely not. But that's like a lot of sharks. Are they like complaining?
Look at all of them.
This is in Florida. Just in Florida a few weeks ago.
You want to go swimming?
Okay, and then next we have, these are mussels, not jellyfish, but same thing.
These are all dead jellyfish,
like,
guys.
Look at that. That's a lot.
What is going on? All
Does
of
it
these.
say where this is?
Look at this.
Chicago? I don't know.
This is so... It's so sad.
That's like a ton of mussels, bro.
This is so sad.
Okay, and then here's an anglerfish that washed
So,
up
over the
on a
weekend, an
beach.
anglerfish washed up on Newport Beach. This is insane, you guys. This, never happens. A female deep-sea Pacific football fish, which is just one of the 300 species of anglerfish. Deep-sea fish rarely wash up onto shore, and the fact that this one was fully intact is, weird. These guys live 3,000 to 6,000 feet below the surface, so scientists aren't really sure why this happened. California Department of Fish and Wildlife currently has it. It will most likely end up at some educational institution or museum. It's rare that we encounter these anglerfish, and the fact that it just washed up on shore is insane.
Okay, there was also here, I think this one actually explains kind of.
Something really, really strange is happening in our oceans, and the wildlife is clearly reflecting that. Groups of whales have been coming together before beaching and unaliving themselves, and scientists have no clue why. This specific group was located near Australia, and the general assumption was that they may have just wandered too close to shore by accident. But the exact same thing happened near Taylor's Bay, and according to the locals who were trying to help, the whales and dolphins sounded like they were screaming for help. Check it out real quick.
First stranded before 2 p.m. yesterday at the rocky beach in Taylor's Bay.
They were screaming. It is probably the thing that's stopping me from sleeping, because you can hear this screaming in your ears. They were making more than a noise. They were really yelling out for help.
And even after the locals and rescue teams helped the whales back into the water, they re-beached themselves further down the coast, almost as if they refused to go deeper into the ocean.
Dang.
Over in the beach in Oregon,
There's
female
that
anglerfish washed up, which is really strange when you consider that they live 2,000 to 3,000 feet deep. And with the huge anomaly that we were initially told was a glitch coming back.
We'll get into this anomaly thing. The blob anomaly. I don't know. We'll talk about it in a second.
Coming back, people's speculation is starting to grow and theories are starting to circulate. I touched on the first theory that states that very large creatures or a very large creature, possibly Leviathan, has entered our ocean's ecosystems, eating the wildlife and scaring them as well. But there's a second theory stating that some sort of frequency device is being used or tested, heating up the oceans and scaring the wildlife. Leave a like, let me know what you think. Last few videos, I talked about how strange marine life in our oceans have been acting recently. If you didn't watch them, whales and dolphins have been huddling up in mass before beaching and unaliving themselves, spawning a few theories as to why this is happening in the first place. I already talked about the first theory pertaining to Leviathan, which suggests that this creature entered our ocean's ecosystems through Antarctica, ultimately scaring the wildlife and causing them to beach themselves. But there's another theory blowing up which suggests that a frequency device is being used and tested in Antarctica or in the waters, which is heating up the ocean and damaging the wildlife. What's interesting about this theory is that there's actually a whistleblower who claimed to have worked directly with some of this frequency technology. Listen to what he had to say.
That there are technologies at the South Pole Station that people can't even consider that exist on this planet.
Like what?
Directed energy weapon systems is something that people need to get into their vocabulary fast. The ice cube neutrino detector is not simply a passive listening device as presented for the science that they're claiming it to do. It also has the capacity to transmit.
There are also groups of people who believe that a technique called seismic blasting has something to do with the strange activity. Basically, this is when fossil fuel companies release a low frequency throughout the ocean in search for oil. Sometimes they can release a frequency every 10 seconds for an entire day, and in the process, marine life, especially whales and dolphins who use sound to communicate, can be greatly disturbed by it. But leave a like and let me know what you think about all this.
Okay, so for this one, this is a little bit, I'll play part of this video. I'm not going to play the whole thing because I feel like there's a better blob anomaly one after this, but this one kind of gives more context as to what it is and what the heck, so we'll just watch a bit.
Massive underwater anomaly spotted off South Africa. What is it? Reports have been swirling about a colossal underwater anomaly that's been detected moving towards South Africa. This isn't just any blip on the radar. We're talking about something larger than the state of Texas. Here's what we know. The anomaly has been active and moving for the last 2 days. Its origin? Still a mystery, but it's traveled from the direction of Antarctica. Size check? Over 2,000 miles long and 1,510 miles wide. That's massive. What's really capturing everyone's attention is the variety of theories popping up all over the internet. From the realistic to the outlandish, people are speculating about everything from giant sea creatures like a leviathan or even the mythical kraken to alien UFOs following the recent solar eclipse. Satellite maps have tracked its movement, showing a path that's not only puzzling but also a bit alarming as it edges closer to populated areas. With it now moving toward America.
Yeah. Okay, we'll watch the next one right now. Okay, I feel like this one's good because it goes into like the different weather
look who's
things.
back, if it isn't everyone's favorite South Atlantic blob anomaly, taking over what appears to be the entire western side of Africa. By the way, I have an entire playlist on this blob anomaly, if this interests you. I want you to pay attention to the correlation with this weather pattern up here. I'm rolling the dates backwards and forwards. Remember what that looked like. We know that in April, Ventu Sky said that this glitch had been resolved. And we know that it wasn't. So they said, hey, we're going to bring on a new weather model, Météo France. So I selected that one. Our blob has gone, but look what's still there. And we know there's been catastrophic weather in southern Africa and Brazil. What do they have in common? In fact, is anywhere on planet Earth having normal weather right now? See you in the comments. Take care.
So such an eerie ending. See you in the comments.
Thousands of sharks, all different species, are all over the shorelines of the coasts. And people are not understanding why. Because some of these sharks are not sharks that come up to the shoreline like ever. And they certainly don't coexist to the degree they all are, so everybody's trying to figure out why are all these sharks there. I think it's pretty obvious why they're there. They're very excited.
They're very excited.
First of all, have you heard what the weathermen have to say about, like, this hurricane season this year and tornado season, how bad it's going to be? Obviously, Sharknado is starting. Clearly. No, I did hear a real theory that it just got under my skin, and I'm so annoyed by it. I heard that corporations are sending big machines down to the bottom of the ocean to use sound frequency blasts to mine different materials. And I just want to say that I do not put it past them, and they must not live on this planet. Like, I know that sounds wild, but they must not. Because how is it that they have no problem destroying the air, the ocean, the wildlife, the ecosystem, all of humanity's health? They've ruined drinking water. They've ruined everything. I don't know anything that they haven't put their hands in and ruined yet. I'm still trying to think of something, okay? And I'm so tired of it, and I just really do hope that Sharknado comes. Mm-hmm. I do. This is obnoxious.
Okay, so that's really as far as the TikToks that I watched. That's what I've got. And I'm just like, oh no, that's pretty wild. So what we can take from that is hurricane season is probably going to be pretty wild. Things are washing up on the shore at an unprecedented rate, which is a little strange. And I don't know, it's just, that's really it. I just wanted to share because it's like information now that's living in my head. So I'm just going to get it out there. So as far as like the theories go, we've got the Leviathan, aliens, sonar in some capacity, and what else? Oh yeah, just climate change in general, like the ocean's heating up and them trying to get out of there because it's too hot. Oh wait, there's one more. Where is it? There's like these, what are they? Because it talks about like the ocean's heating up and it's these, oh, I forget what they're called. I swear I saved it. Okay, I can't find it, but the other one that I'm thinking of is there's researchers who were putting cameras down into the water, and there's these things that hopefully I can figure out the name of them, and I'll put them on the screen, that they're kind of look like they're about that big. They look kind of like worms, and they're just kind of floating in the ocean. I don't know if they're like a plankton or something like that. But basically the researchers were saying like, oh, at first we were really annoyed because they were getting in the way of like our visuals and getting caught in our nets and stuff. But they were like, that's weird that there's so many here because they're more of like a tropical thing, and where they were, like, they shouldn't be there, or at least in that number. And then they even had like footage of like they caught a fish, and then like inside the fish, like, because you know they were opening it up, and one of those things was like in there. So it was just kind of crazy. I don't know, maybe without a visual that like doesn't really do too much. Hopefully I can find it. But either way, that's just another thing that, like I said, was kind of going towards the like oceans heating up, is that they were speculating that, yeah, that's why these, I hate to call them plankton when I don't know like what they are, because they're pretty big looking. Anyways, I don't know, what do you think about it? I feel like I don't really know what to think about it. I think it's really sad that all these animals are washing up, and yeah, there's a lot to ponder there, which I probably will do, because like I said, this information is going to live rent-free in my head for a little bit. That's the whole reason I'm like, let me try to get it out, like, you know, just so then maybe I won't, I don't know, whatever. Anyways, yeah, let me know in the comments what you think, and I know this was kind of a different video for this channel, but whatever. I just wanted to show you the TikTok rabbit hole that I went down, and yeah, so have a good day. Hope you enjoyed this randomness, and I'll see you in the next video.